What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the top 10 villains that I want to see Batman go up against next in his next movie, whether that's the DCEU Batman or if we ever get a Matt Reeves Batman 2. Whichever one, I don't care. These are the 10 villains that I want to see. Some of these have never been in live action. Some of these were in live action, but they sucked so badly we need a redo. Some of these characters are silly, some of them more serious. Every character has a different reason for being on this list. But before we get into the video, I want to know who you guys want to see down below in the comments. What villains do you want to see Batman go up against next? Let me know. Other than that, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys like the video at the end, click like. Other than that, let's get into the video. The first character on this list is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze has already been in live action, but he was done so poorly. Although I love Arnold Schwarzenegger's take on Mr. Freeze in its own silly, goofy way, it is not what we need right now. We need a true, comic accurate, tragic, emotional Mr. Freeze who is doing all of this evil shit so that way he can see his wife healthy again. This character is so beautifully written in how much effort he will go to save his wife, which is so upsetting because at the end of the day, she actually wants him to just move on, but he can't. So it's this back and forth battle he's having where he knows he has to move on, but he literally can't. This would also give us, the audience, a peek into Batman's more emotional side and how he can connect with Mr. Freeze. He would do anything to get his parents back, but he has to move on and he has to get that point across to Mr. Freeze. Now, when it comes to the physical aspect, this character could bring us some of the coolest fights we've never been able to see in live action. I would love to see Batman have to build an EX suit like he did in Arkham Origins. Speaking of Arkham Origins, this is the perfect character to set Batman during Christmas. I love Arkham Origins so much. I play it all the time, and having Batman in a Christmas wintry Gotham theme is so perfect, and Mr. Freeze is the perfect character to have that set up for. If this character is through the Matt Reeves Batman universe, then it would be really cool if Mr. Freeze could take advantage of the flood that happened at the end of the first Batman. He could freeze over Gotham, and that would be really cool to see. The second character on this list is our boy Bane. I know everyone's wanting Bane back, and I do too. He was sort of done comic accurately in the past, but then we got Tom Hardy's version, which wasn't really comic accurate. Don't get me wrong, I love Tom Hardy's version, but it's not the Bane that I know. I want comic accurate Bane, whether it's size, the mask, or the Venom itself. I want to see this man hulking. I want to see this dude huge. Now, he can start out as, you know, a dude that's super jacked, you know what I mean? Bigger than Bruce Wayne for sure, gotta be just right off the bat. But then when he injects the Venom, he needs to be so big, they basically have to CGI this guy like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. We need to see the green strands coming through his veins. We need to see just everything pulsing, and it's almost disgusting. Now, if they wanted to, they could make this a commentary on the world's like drug problem, especially in the US that we're having right now. If they wanted like to tie it into real life society issues, that's what I would do. But I do think this character offers a lot in his own respect in this universe contained, and this is the villain who breaks the Batman. I love Bane because he gives Batman a run for his money in strength by a long shot. Normally, Bruce does not have a big problem when it comes to physical challenges in his villains. It's more mental, or needs a gadget, or he can punch his way out normally. He can't punch his way out when it comes to Bane. He would definitely need some type of enhanced suit, or some type of gadget, or a plot or a trap that could take Bane down. Like I said earlier, I love Arkham Origins, and one of my favorite parts of that game is when Bane finds out Bruce is Batman, goes down to the Batcave and blows it up, completely wrecks the place, and basically kills Alfred. This would be an insane live action scene if Bane was the one to kill Alfred, especially if it was the Robert Pattinson Batman, which we've already got some scenes with Alfred, so that would touch even harder. The third character on this list is one of those characters that I choose purely based on my own liking for the character, and that is Manbat. Manbat is so cool in every iteration that I see him in, whether it's the Arkham games, whether it's the animated series, whether it's Son of Batman. Anytime this guy shows up, I'm hype as hell because I just love the character design. I love that this guy it's basically Batman's version of Spider-Man's lizard, and this guy that's doing these experiments, and then it just goes too far and he becomes this giant bat, which is amazing. With the new DCU Batman, I want to see more fantastical stuff, like I said in that other video, and Manbat is the perfect character to start off this fantastical universe. I also love that Manbat is the scariest version of what Bruce is actually scared of. Bruce is terrified of bats, whether he's over that fear, that's kind of like a back and forth conversation, but Manbat could really expose those fears, not only in Bruce, but in the audience too. This is one of those villains that we could have scenes that include like jump scares or actually really terrifying, heart-racing scenes without it being Scarecrow. Manbat can give us those moments. The fourth character on this list is Deathstroke. I want to see Deathstroke in live action for so many different reasons. One of these reasons is that we need to redefine that Deathstroke is a villain. He is a monster. Deathstroke is not an anti-hero, okay? Let's stop grouping him in anti-heroes because he's not. Deathstroke is a monster, okay? And I think that there's been like this weird rewriting online of Deathstroke and Red Hood being similar, but they're not. One thing that I love about Deathstroke is that him and Bruce are so balanced in their fights. Bruce knows that Deathstroke could beat him. Deathstroke knows that Batman could beat him. It is so evenly matched, and I love that. And one thing we need if Deathstroke is the villain is multiple fights throughout the movie and how they adapt to each other. The first fight, maybe Bruce takes the win. The second fight, maybe Deathstroke took the win. And then in that third fight, it's like a rematch. Who's going to take that second win and defeat the other one once and for all? And throughout the movie, these characters need to be learning about each other, rewatching their fights, knowing what Batman's going to do next, knowing what Slade Wilson is going to do next, and just matching up these characters and having them be super smart in their fights. Not only are they researching while they're out of the fight, but when they are fighting, when they are actually in the fight itself, they need to be adapting, like the Arkham Origins fight. They need to be adapting to each other in how they use their gadgets, what moves they're using, what fight styles they're using. The perfect way I can describe this is John Wick style choreography and camera work, where the John Wick movies make sure that you see the effort that the choreographers and the stunt people put into learning these fight scenes. It is something that is so cool to see in those movies, and I would love to see it in live action for Batman and Deathstroke. The fifth character on this list is a little bit goofy, but hear me out, okay? This is Killer Moth, okay? I want to see Killer Moth in live action. Now, a lot of people throw Killer Moth to the side. He's underrated, and I'll tell you why. If Spider-Verse can make a character like Spot super freaking scary and make you genuinely terrified for Miles Morales' family in the next movie, why can't we do the same with Killer Moth? There's no reason. That's why. They can make Killer Moth modern and sick as hell, trust me. Bruce typically overlooks Killer Moth. If Killer Moth is involved with another villain, he sometimes won't even catch Killer Moth. He'll just let him go because he's not scared of him. But in the background, Killer Moth could be planning. He could be plotting like he does in the comic books and build a team of sillier villains, but all together, they are a threat. Separated, they might not be able to take on Batman one-on-one, but together, that's when they can take down the Batman. This would also be a great villain to introduce Batgirl as well. I'd love to see Bat family members make appearances in Batman solo movies. The sixth character on this list is Scarecrow. I've been wanting Scarecrow to show up again for a long time. I loved his portrayal in Batman Begins, but it wasn't my Scarecrow. My Scarecrow wears a hat and has a scythe. Okay, that is my Scarecrow. So you can imagine how happy I was when we got to see that in the Gotham TV show. I loved the Gotham TV show. As As weird and cringe as it was sometimes, some things, like Scarecrow, they did extremely well. This is the perfect character for a Batman Halloween movie. Have it come out during October. Make sure there are horror elements in there. Add some jump scares. Add some dream sequences, some nightmare fuel. Okay, give that to the viewer and Batman. I want to see those types of scenes, like Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. Those types of dream sequences would be so cool to see Batman go through. Now, this could tie into Robert Pattinson's Batman with the Penguin TV show. They talked a little bit about a red drug, didn't really describe it too much, but we also saw in Dr. Julian Rush's office, we saw a Scarecrow mask, which makes me think that Julian Rush is this universe's Scarecrow. I don't know why else they would put that in there other than just like a small Easter egg, but come on, dude, we are fans. We overthink everything. So I would love to see Scarecrow in live action. He's perfect. The 7th character on this list is Killer Croc. I talked about him in my last Batman video, but I want to see Killer Croc, dude. Not just a human with like scales like we saw in the Suicide Squad movie. We need to see Killer Croc, the monstrous dinosaur looking beast, dude. I want to see this guy have spikes coming out of his back, basically. Killer Croc is another tragic character who doesn't really want to be a monster, but society has forced him into that role. If this was Robert Pattinson's universe, it'd be perfect to see him use the flooded Gotham to his advantage. But if it's not, and it's a new universe, it would be really cool to see the DCU Batman exploring the sewers of Gotham, something that we rarely get to see. I want to see Batman underground in the sewer system. This would also be an opportunity to comment on homelessness and the sewer people that actually do live out there in the US. We have people who are living in the sewer systems because they're homeless and they think that that's the best place for them, which sucks. But like it sucks, but it's like it is happening. It is happening. I'm not saying that's where all the homeless people are. I'm just saying that it exists. But Killer Croc is a great character in and out of the crocodile form. It's just fantastic. I'd love to see how he became Killer Croc in live action and seeing, the body horror stuff that they could do with him becoming Killer Croc. That stuff would be so cool to see in live action. The 8th character on this list, and probably everyone's top pick, is Red Hood. I want to see Red Hood in live action besides the Titan show. This character's story is just perfect. It makes you question whether what Batman is doing is right or wrong. It makes you question whether Bruce is trustworthy, which I love. This character really exposes some of the hard truths of Batman, which is such a complicated story, and that's why I love it. Unfortunately, this does mean that we would need to bring Joker in, and I'm kind of tired of Joker, but if he's necessary for the Red Hood storyline, then I'm okay with it. This would be another opportunity for us to bring in more of the Bat family and help solve who is under the Red Hood. The combat in this movie would be fantastic. Having Red Hood fight the different Bat family members, and especially Batman, similar to like I was saying with Deathstroke, learning, because Jason had already trained with Batman a little bit. He knows what Batman's thinking, what moves that they're gonna play. I love that part of Red Hood. And this would set up a new Red Hood for us to get to use, whether it's a sideshow or use in another project, give him his own solo project. Like, once we establish Red Hood in this universe, I know we're going to be begging for more, and I just can't wait until they bring Red Hood to live action. The 9th character on this list is Phantasm. Now, I luckily got to see a re-release of Batman Mask of the Phantasm animated movie in California, which was really, really cool and really fun to see because it was the first time that I had seen that movie. So getting to see the twist during that and not have that spoiled was fantastic. I won't even say the twist, but I think that they could keep the character the same in live action and enough people would still be surprised by this twist. I'm surprised on how many people haven't watched Mask of the Phantasm. It's definitely up there with not just my favorite Batman animated projects, but my favorite Batman projects in general. It's really high up there. If there's some way we can cut the Joker out of it, I would be happy to. DC also recently used this character in the Batman Catwoman like tie-in comic as their main villain, and I loved that. Phantasm is also a character where I get nerdy, who just has like an iconic appearance. The design of this character is just so well made, and I love it. I love characters that are just designed to a T, and it's just like, it's I don't know, it's something nerdy about me where like I can just see a character and I know that they're an icon. The 10th and last character on this list is our girl Poison Ivy. Now, I think Poison Ivy could be a great fantastical villain in the DCU Batman. She would be able to show us some really interesting fight scenes with Bruce, fighting plants, fighting hypnotized characters, being able to see Batman having to fight a giant piranha plant would be hilarious. But Poison Ivy is not just, you know, a little bit of plants, a little bit of fighting, you know what I mean? She can infect all of Gotham with plants and have Gotham at her knees if she wants. What's great about Poison Ivy is she's one of those villains whose ideals make a lot of sense actually, but it's her execution that is wrong. She just wants to protect the planet. She knows that Mother Nature is going to outlive humanity anyway, so might as well speed up the process. But that's when Bruce has to stand in and be like, whoa, humans are chill. We can be chill, trust me. I'll do everything that I can except plant new trees. Bruce ain't doing that. Let's be for real. I think Poison Ivy could also set up a Gotham City Sirens HBO Max series. I think that would be really cool. It'd be a nice way to introduce Harley Quinn and Catwoman and get these characters mingling and have fun in Gotham City with an overarching storyline in an HBO Max series. I think that would be fun. I mean, they could do a movie, but after Birds of Prey, I think maybe we should scale back a little bit on that and just make it a TV series. So those were the top 10 villains I want to see Batman go up against in the new DCU movies or Robert Pattinson movies. I don't really care which one. I'd be happy with either, but I want to know what you guys want to see. Which characters do you guys love and have a reason for being in this new universe? I love hearing what you guys have to say. You guys are usually pretty positive, and I love that about our community. I love when our community actually embraces other people's ideas instead of stripping them down and being like, nah, that's stupid. I feel like most communities would say, you know, oh, Killer Moth, that's a dumb idea. But hey, that's what people said about Spot back in the day, so I'm just saying, it's possible. Other than that, like the video if you guys enjoyed. Comment other video ideas you guys have. I'd love to cover anything you guys are wondering about, whether it's my opinions, whether it's something that's actually happening in the comic world or the movie world. I'd love to cover more stuff like that. Other than that, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And as always, have fun, be respectful, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.